In this video, I create an AI agent that acts as my personal finance assistant. It updates me every single day with info such as how much money I spent, what I spent it on, and how much I have left on my weekly budget. Not only that, but it also knows my investment and my saving strategy. So it calculates every single month how much I need to save and invest in multiple different accounts. Everybody hates personal finance, so why not make an AI do it for us? That's what we're gonna do in this video. All right, so first of all, I'm gonna come down to this description. I'm gonna grab this link here, taking me to Zapier agents. Then I'm going to sign into my account. Next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to agents here. This is their new product. And I'm going to come and click on create new agent. And I'm going to create a custom agent from scratch. I'm going to call this Brock's personal finance agent. And you can see we could actually connect this to 7,000 different applications. This is a very specific personal finance use case, but you could use this platform for so many other things. That is why it's great and it's really easy to use. All right, so next up, you're going to see a chat here. We want to come over to configure. And what we want to do is we want to add a couple things. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to create a behavior. So this is a specific workflow that your agent is able to do. It's almost like a skill that your agent has and it could perform these certain tasks. So I'm going to make two specific behaviors and I'm going to go ahead and make this first one here. I'm going to name this one right here, expense tracker email. And this is going to be, we could either make this on demand where we could just type with our chat and it could actually get this information from us and actually trigger this workflow. But I'm going to schedule this, let's say every single day at 10 p.m. It will then send me an email with like all this information here. So there we go. Let's save that and let's move on to the instructions here. The instructions is where you simply want to type out what you want your agent to do, how you want it to perform certain tasks and whatnot. I'm going to show you exactly how to specify and like write this instruction here. All right. So first of all, what I'm writing here is your job is to help Brock with his personal finances / budget. You will help categorize all of his expenses, calculate how much he spends on certain things, and help identify and plan a budget for him to save money. So next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out my monthly and my weekly budget. So it actually knows and is able to keep track of that in order to send these emails to me, updating me with, how far off I am from my budget. All right. So I'm using some mock data here. This isn't my real actual budget or anything, but my weekly budget is $1,250 with a monthly budget of $5,000. Basically, we need to prompt our AI agent to say every single day, I want you to send an email with this information. So at the end of the day, or whenever he asks for it, send him an email with this information. Number one, let's say how much money he spent. Number two is going to be what he spent that money on. Essentially, we want to get any information to like show what I spend my money on, how much I spend, and how much more I have for my budget. Let's also say how much he spent compared to the previous day, because it's really important to understand, how much money are you spending compared to like other days relatively. The more we know about our personal finances, probably the more we're going to actually save money. So we want to add as much of this information as possible without overwhelming us. And then lastly, how much he has remaining for the weekly budget. So again, it's going to use this weekly budget here and subtract from that. Next up, what we need to do is we need to add data for our AI agent to have accessibility to. So I'm going to come right here and I'm going to say data, and then I'm going to show you exactly the data points we're going to add. All right. So the first thing in our knowledge base is going to be this AI expenses Google spreadsheet here. So we could add whatever we want. We could add Google spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet, whatever we want, but this is essentially all of my expenses here. So every single day, this is logged with the date, the category, the amount, and the description of what I actually spent my money on. And you could see this is again, just mock data, but what we could do is we could actually add a Zapier automation to where we could connect this to our bank account with certain accounting softwares and then automatically populate this whenever we spend money on something. So that is something we could easily do just by adding a quick zap to this. But obviously in this video, I don't want to show my actual transactions and whatnot and actual income and payments. So, all right, so we have this expenses tab as well as we have the incoming payments tab. Again, this is not correct data for me, but yeah, so we have all these Stripe payments here with the date, we have the customer, we have the amount, and we have the platform. So this is data that our AI agent now has context on. Now the question is, how do we link this to our AI agent in order for it to actually access that? All we got to do is come down here and click / click insert data, add a data source, and then I'm going to come to Google Sheets. Since this is on Google Sheets, I'm going to select the data source, AI expenses, simple as that. Give it access to both these worksheets, add that data. There we go. Now it has access to this knowledge base here, which is this Google Sheets expenses. So So this next piece of data here is actually a Google Doc. It is called AI Agent Budget. And this is essentially kind of a little bit of information about my budget. So we have these fixed expenses here, which are essential regular payments that happen on a monthly basis. So that is rent, we got utilities, and we got gas. So our total fixed expenses are $2,250. And then also I just also added the monthly and the weekly budget here as well. So what I need to do, I just simply need to add this data. And guys, we could add any data source we want. So you could put as much information as you want. You could give this all the context on your personal finances that you would like. But for this is just stuff that I find useful and is going to help me for my specific agent. So, all right. So now we have this new data source called AI Agent Budget. We need to add one more data source and then it's good to move on. And this is an important one. So let's pay attention to this. This one is called our investing and saving strategy. So this is basically an explanation of how I want to invest my money and save my money. So our agent knows how to actually calculate this for us. And if you remember, I said that we're going to create an automation inside this agent that sends us an email every single month and basically gives us the exact amount we need to invest and save based on the money we made and based on these rules here that I specify. So we could get as specific as we want with this, but let's go through what I said. I want to put 25% of all income after expenses into a savings account. Let's split that up into a few categories. So I want a general savings, which is 10%. I want to put 10% into a travel fund, and I want to put 5% into a rainy day fund. And then I want to put 10% of all income after expenses into investment accounts. So let's split that into a few categories. I'm going to split that into a Roth IRA, which I want to put half into, and I want to put the other half into a crypto account. So again, we could get as specific as we want. This is a pretty simple investing strategy and saving strategy for me. This is enough information. All I need to do is come back / insert data, add a data source, click on Google Docs, and I basically just need to add the investing and saving strategy. Now we are good to go. We have all the context we need for this specific use case. Next up, what we need to do is we need to enable actions. This is basically what gives our agent the ability to perform tasks within our workflows and within our apps. So I'm just going to write here actions, and there's only 2 actions I need to add here, and they're both pretty simple. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to click on insert action. I'm going to find Google Sheet. Basically, I just need to get many spreadsheet rows. So this returns up to 500 rows. So this essentially will pull this information from here in order to use this as context. All you got to do is connect your Google Sheets account, connect your spreadsheet. I'll set a specific value for this, and that is going to be AI expenses worksheet. I'll let that figure that out, and then let's go ahead and save that. Next up, I'm going to add emails because we want to give our AI agent the ability to send emails at the end of the day and at the end of the month with this information. So it's going to work like a personal assistant for us, or almost like a bookkeeper for us. So / click insert action, come to Gmail, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on send email, and we need to configure this. So I connected my Gmail account. Subject, I'm going to let the AI agent generate this field. 2, basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this value as my own email address. So that way it just automatically sends this email to me. There we go. I'm going to click save, and now this behavior should be working. Let me go ahead and actually test this out. All right, so it looks like it's actually gathering the expense data and preparing our daily financial summary. It's actually looking inside of this spreadsheet. It's getting these rows from here to look at all of our expenses. And here we go. Here's a draft email that it's going to send us. Let me go ahead and approve this. The reason we need to approve this is because this is in test. Once I turn this on, we won't have to approve it, but let me check my email and see if I got this. Boom, here we go. Daily financial summary, February 11th, 2025. So here's how much money I spent. I spent $52 on lunch with colleagues, gym membership. You could see that I spent $22 on food, $30 on health. How much I spent compared to the previous day. Looks like yesterday I spent $125, so I spent $73 less than yesterday. And here is what I have remaining for my weekly budget. I have a weekly budget of $1,198 left. So there we go. We're going to be getting this email every single day with an update on our expenses, and this should help us save a lot of money. Next up, what we need to do is we need to actually move on to our next behavior, and that is going to be our investing strategy. So click here on behaviors. I'm going to trigger this. I'm going to schedule this every month. So every month on a certain date, at the end of the day, it is actually going to send us this email. And let's do at 10 p.m. Click save. And now I need to begin writing out the instructions for this. First of all, I'm going to title this monthly saving and investment plan. And let's write out the instructions here. So your job is to analyze the monthly income / spending from Brock based on the investment and saving strategy strategies Brock has given you, identify how much needs to be invested and saved for the month. So this right here, the investing and saving strategy I have given it, is essentially this data source right here, like a very simple Google Doc explaining how we want to invest our money. So I'm going to say when you send the email, always remove any of these like kind of asterisks here, because for whatever reason, the output might look a little weird. So I did this in order to make sure that doesn't happen. Next up, we need to add our data sources that we did in the previous step. So I'm going to come here and click data / click insert data. I'm going to add the AI expenses. I'm going to add the AI budget, the AI agent budget. And then I'm also going to add the investing and saving strategy. We just need to add one action here, and that is going to be the action of sending us an email every single month. So click on email, click on send email, and then we need to configure this. So again, connect your Gmail account. Subject, let me actually just say monthly investing / saving plan. So I'll get an email with that subject line every single time, and then that is good to go. Let's save this, and now let's just test his behavior. Everything should be running now. So it's actually analyzing our financial data from the provided sources to create the monthly investment and savings plan. Guys, one thing I want to mention too is there's so many use cases for Zapier agents. This is just one that I thought might be applicable to a broad amount of people. You could do this for all of your different like day-to-day business tasks. You could have it send emails for you. Like there's countless amount of things. You can make this trade stocks for you. Like so many things it could do. This is just one use case that I think could be valuable to you. So you can see it's calculating the total income, the total expenses, and the remaining amount, and coming up with an investment strategy here. All right, so the output of this is a little bit messy. So I went ahead and I basically said simply show this info. So I wanted to show my monthly income, my monthly expenses, monthly income after expenses, monthly expenses by category, and then I wanted to show me just the total savings and whatnot. I don't need to know like what percent will be allocated, because that's like just for the database. I don't even need, or that's just for the knowledge base. I don't need to know that. Just show me the outputs after you calculate it essentially. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to click retest behavior, and this should be good to go. Boom, there we go. Here's the output. So it shows our monthly income, our monthly expenses, our monthly income after expenses. It shows our by category, it shows the total savings amount, and then it shows where these savings will be allocated. So we'll put this amount into general savings, this amount into travel savings, and this amount into rainy day, as well as it shows the investment. So it's going to invest a total of $2,769.44. And this amount is going to the Roth IRA. This amount's going to crypto. So there we go. That's great. Let's go ahead and approve this. And now let me check my email and make sure that this goes through smoothly. We just got our monthly investing and saving plan email. This looks great, guys. Now we have an AI agent that literally does our personal finance tracking for us. It tracks our expenses. It tracks our budget. It tracks our investments and our savings. This is great, guys. Everybody hates having to deal with this. So the fact that I have an AI agent that could do this for me automatically now is great. So if you guys got some value from this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I love building AI tools and AI automations kind of like this to help make your life a little bit more efficient. So that being said, appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one.